something trying to get out.
Hold on to your end!
Hi, Paul. Hi, Carrie. My name is James with Regal Cinema.
Hi, James.
My brother used to work for Regal Cinema. Yay!
So, just jumping right into things. Of course, the movie is deeply rooted in like supernatural activity and what have you. I would love if either of you could tell me a story about a time where you feel like you may have encountered something supernatural.
I grew up in a house that was built on the original property of a house that was in my family in the 1800s. My family's been in the same town forever. And we have a really old barn. And when we were down below where the cows used to be, we would often hear like boot steps on the upper floor, and we would run up there to see if anyone was there, and there was never anybody there. Ghost farmer.
So interesting, because kind of equally, I grew up in a house that was built over an old Indian burial ground.
He's lying.
You have 24 hours with a ghost. What do you think would be the most important things to catch them up on?
Oh, like they don't know what's
Anything.
happened in the last 10 years?
They don't know what's going on.
Sadly, they would be subjected to one of my many rants about like plastic and climate change. Sorry.
And governance.
They would hate it. Yeah, and the failure of our experiment, our great American experiment.
And yeah, I mean that would be that would only be the first chunk
so
of time, and then we fill him in on some other new stuff and say like
music.
Okay, there are these things called streamers. And there's a great, you want a really good pizza in New York? Check out this place, Lucali. There's, I think it's the Chiefs won 3 Super Bowls, if you can believe it. That's what I would probably believe it.
So what do you think are some things that you've experienced in adulthood that would supersede running into any ghost?
Sending my children to school in America. Terrifying. Guns, really scary.
Social media.
Social media, yeah.
Boy, that's what you should try and explain.
To a ghost? God bless.
Social media. Try and explain TikTok.
Ghost filter, yeah.
One of the main themes of the movie that I picked up was the process of moving on. Nothing can stay stagnant without repercussions. So can either of you tell me about a time where you struggled with letting something go and moving on?
Yeah, I mean, I think that life is constantly kind of throwing you those kinds of situations that you have to...
I know that as a young actor, I remember, we get rejected a lot. Actors, we lose more jobs than we get, which is a really common trope for actors. But I had this amazing guy, Andre DeShields, who's an amazing, song and dance theater man. And he said to me, other people's blessings. He goes, that was not your blessing. Your blessing is coming, but that was theirs. That didn't belong to you. And I think that was a really great lesson for me in what it means to move on in this particular business. And it's just kind of a generally good attitude, because otherwise you get really small-minded and petty, and that's not a way to move through the world.
You have to, regardless of whatever your situation is, you have to adapt or perish. So you better learn to adapt, otherwise you're screwed.
Ghostbusters are finished.
Right, well, overruled.
Sustained.
Thank you.
Hi.
Hi, nice to meet both of you. Gonna jump right into this with a fun game with you guys called Who You Gonna Call. So, let's say you're sick and you have the flu. Who are you gonna call?
My mother.
My mother.
When you had a bad day.
My mother.
Yeah. Maybe my friend, or maybe my dad or my friend Billy. Yeah.
What about you, McKenna?
My mom.
Okay.
My mom.
Answer hasn't changed.
Answer hasn't changed.
Well, I said my dad, so shouldn't be ashamed of that.
And then one more from this, when you want a good laugh.
Honestly, Paul.
We're the Ghostbusters. Can I tell you something else? What? Buster makes me feel good. Makes me feel good.
Paul.
Paul, yeah, or my friend Jesse, maybe.
I'd call my friend Arian.
Yeah.
I love that. Can either of you tell me about a time in your own personal life where you may have encountered a supernatural entity and you could not explain what happened to you?
I can explain what happened to me, but like one time I tricked myself into believing that my kitchen was haunted, and it ended up being the dishwasher. So I can explain that, but there's no unexplained things in my life yet. But maybe it's just because I'm not open-minded. Maybe like when you welcome those things, that's when it starts happening to you.
Don't welcome ghosts. Okay,
I welcome
like
ghosts.
that's like
Not all
how
ghosts
every
are-
bad
not all
horror
ghosts are
movie
evil.
starts.
Not all ghosts
yeah,
are
but
evil.
that's how all horror movies start. No.
Yeah.
One more question for you guys. You have 24 hours with the ghost. What would you fill them in on that's going on? Like maybe in movies, music, books.
I want my ghost to be a little Victorian child, and I'm going to make them watch 12 hours of TikTok.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I'm gonna get like an old person from the 1800s and just literally give them a video of like Gangnam Style and see what they do. Just show them Gangnam Style and watch. I literally think they would lose their minds.
Or like even like showing like a little 1800s ghost like a toaster.
Yeah.
Like the bread popping out, I think they die of heart attack again.
I just give them an iPhone and be like, see ya.
Yeah.
And then just see what happens.
Disgusting.
Nice to meet you, Mr. Hudson.
James, nice meeting you too.
So let's get right into it. I'd imagine that as an actor, one of your main goals is to always be attaching yourself to projects that have longevity. So when you were originally cast in this film, did it ever cross your mind what kind of longevity this franchise would have and that you would possibly be reprising your role?
Well, I don't know. I don't think I've ever really thought about attaching myself to projects with longevity. I mean, we kind of do this stuff. You hope people like it, and you don't expect that. Most things I've done, there hasn't been any, But when the audience connects to it and they embrace it, and it continues, and Ghostbusters surprisingly has continued for 40 years. It makes me very happy. But I never expected it. I always kind of like you do the work and then whatever happens. I never expected this to happen, but I'm so glad that the fans, the audience have found meaning in this story. And that's very, very special. Let's get to work.
In the original, I know that it was directed by Ivan Reitman, and I'm sure that you learned a lot working with him. But what is something that you learned from doing the newer version and working under director Gil Kenan?
Yeah, no, Gil is he's an incredible director. Obviously, every director is different. Ivan was a genius at finding what's funny. He just had an ear for it. And Gil just brings humanity and a charm and a different kind of humor, but he also, and of course Jason Reitman, who's producing this one, but there's always learning whenever you sort of show up and you hopefully bring your best work. And of course the guys, Bill Murray, Dan Aykroyd, Annie Potts, I've worked with before.
Can I be of any help? Melnitz in uniform, yes!
And I know they're going to be on point, and I'm so thankful that to have everybody come together without any competition. But I don't worry about that. I'm just very happy to have lived long enough to experience this and to see how the fans embrace it. It means a lot.
Of course. Final question. With this movie being so deeply rooted in like the supernatural activities and world of that nature, have you ever experienced anything that was supernatural that it was hard for you to explain within your own life?
Yeah, I think first off, you have to be open to that experience. But yeah, there've been things that I can't explain, and I believe there's something. I'm pretty convinced there's something on the other side. But I also learned to not be afraid of. My grandmother would say the only thing a ghost can do is scare you enough to hurt yourself. So if you don't hurt yourself, the ghost will be just fine. So I'm not afraid of ghosts, but yeah, I believe that there's a lot going on that we don't know about.
Well, thank you so much for sitting with me. Great seeing you in this sequel, and I look forward to seeing what you do next.
Great, man. Great talking to you.